The truth is, email marketing is the staple of internet marketing and online business. It has been since online business was really invented.
Hey, podcast listener, you're about to discover insider tips, tricks, and secrets to making more sales and converting more prospects into customers with email marketing. For more information about the Email Marketing Podcast or the Autoresponder Guide, go to dropdeadcopy.com/podcast. Hey everybody, it's John McIntyre here, the Autoresponder Guy, and it's time for episode 38 of the McMethod Email Marketing Podcast, where you'll discover tactics and strategies to increase your email profits by 25 to 100% in just 90 days or less without spending more on advertising. Today, I'm going to be talking to Leon J. He is a long-time, veritable email marketing and marketing in general wizard. I had so much fun in this conversation. I met Leon here in Thailand. He's a great guy. He's got a coffee shop that he's actually running as a hobby and got some great business stuff going on as well. He's been doing marketing for a long, long time, including a full software suite which automates a bunch of this stuff from squeeze pages, email stuff. It's a really great piece of software. We'll talk about that soon. So he's also got some killer inside info on what works and what doesn't, because with his software and the different products that he sells, he gets so many customers in that they get to really see things from the inside out. So he has a very, very interesting perspective on email marketing, what used to work and what works now and what's been changing, and really how you can maximize the effectiveness of your email list today in 2014. So now sometimes I record episodes where I just know it's going to be a sweet episode afterwards. And this was one of them. I got off the phone with Leon, buzzing with ideas for my own business. And I knew that any listener to this podcast is going to get so much out of this. So pay attention, grab a notebook and a pen if you have one handy, get ready. To get the show notes for this episode of the Email Marketing Podcast, go to themcmethod.com/38. Now, the Email Marketing Podcast has a listener question. Here it is.
Hi, John. I've got a question about generating traffic from a third-party linking service. Is there a link shortening or social bookmarking service out there that will reward me with viral traffic for driving clicks from my email list to my content on their network? Is there a social bookmarking network out there whose algorithm I can game by sending traffic to my content through their network?
Okay, so let me just repeat the question for anyone listening. Jonathan says, how do I generate traffic from a third-party linking service? Is there a link shortening or a social bookmarking website that will reward me with viral traffic by driving clicks from my email list to my content on their network? So I think what Jonathan's talking about is, can he link from his email to a service like StumbleUpon and get the traffic to that page, and then that service, such as StumbleUpon, then bumps his page up, bumps his content up on their network, which then gets him additional clicks. So can he use his email list to game basically a social bookmarking service, or do I know of a site like that? Unfortunately, I don't. That's never been the way I've gone about things. I'm sure they're out there. I've met so many people here in Thailand, here in Chiang Mai, and I just hear about them all the time. There are so many systems to game, so many ways of gaming the system. If you can figure it out, go for it. If StumbleUpon's not working, Super is the one that Jonathan mentioned. There's going to be other ones. I would check out wickedfire.com. That's a forum for some of this stuff, where you're going to find a bit of the shadier, maybe gray hat, and even on the black hat side. Black Hat World is another one. That's where you're going to find these kind of things going on, I think. Most people aren't really going to be able to tell you how this stuff works, okay? I got one other listener question. This one came in via email. They say, how do I get a 4% conversion rate to 8% conversion rate? Now, this is a great question, especially I've been reading some great stuff lately on the 80-20 rule, in particular a book by Perry Marshall called 80-20 Sales and Marketing. There is a link to the book in the show notes on mcmethod.com, or you can just go to Amazon and search for it. I highly recommend you read this as soon as possible, especially if you're trying to get your conversion rate up. Because here's the thing, let's say you want to get from 4% to 8%. You essentially want to double your conversion rate. So let's think about how long will that take? Well, it depends. How many steps have you got? Are we talking conversion rate just on the sales page, or are you talking 3 different steps? Because let's say we had 3 different steps. You had your click-through rate, your ad click to your landing page to opt-in, and then your opt-in, the lead you convert into sales. You've got 3 leverage points there. Now, if you bump your overall conversion rate by 10%, you're going to get from 4% to 4.4, right? But if you bump your conversion rate by 10% on each step, instead of having just 5.2, which is a linear increase, you're going to have 5.32% conversion rate. right? So if you, let's say, do 20% on each step, let me run those numbers right now, you would go from 4% to almost 7%, right? So you're going to get almost 70% increase just by doing a 20% increase of clicks on your click-through rate, 20% increase in your opt-in rate. 20% increase in your opt-in rate doesn't mean going from 10% to 30%. 20% of 10% is 2%. So you only need to go from 10% to 12% on that opt-in rate to increase that opt-in rate by 20%. So this is far easier than it sounds. Now, what I'm trying to get at here is that there are exponential improvements when you start split testing stuff like this. It's not a linear thing. It's not where you test, you try and get a 10% improvement and then another 10%, and it takes, years to get there. You can get 10% here, 10% there, 20% here, maybe 35% over there, and the sum, or the whole, is greater than the sum of its parts. Right, and this is exactly what Perry Marshall's book is about. There is a whole chapter in there about split testing and how you can take any business, especially an online business, and you can 50x a business. You can 2,000x a business even. Right? It's insane when you see the math and how it works, and it makes sense. If you're a logical guy or girl and you like numbers, it's going to blow your mind. But going from 4% to 8% conversion rate on a sales page, that's going to be quite difficult. But if you're talking, you want to double the size of your business by split testing, that's what we're really talking about there. You double your conversion rate, you're going to make twice as much money. That's the idea. So how could you double your business? How could you double your profit would be another way of, even a better way of looking at it. So you want to look at these leverage points, and then you want to look, how can you boost each leverage point in that funnel? Remember the click to the landing page, the opt-in rate, the conversion rate. There's all these different leverage points, and just tweak them. And this doesn't take much effort. You could split test a headline. Right? It shouldn't take much time or effort. So you do 20% on each step on 3 steps, and you've already got a 72.8% increase. You've gone from 4% to 7%. Let's say if you did 30% on each step. So we go 4% to start off with and 30% on each step. There you go. 30% on each step, bump. Click-through rate goes from, say, 1% to 1.3%. Your opt-in rate goes from 10% to 13%. And your lead to sale goes from, say, 5% to about 6.5%. These are small increases, but they add up, because what you go from 4% total conversion rate to 8.7%, and you've achieved your goal. This is where split testing really shines, okay? Hope that wasn't too confusing. If you want to learn more, go and check out Perry Marshall's book. It's 80/20 Sales and Marketing. It's on Amazon. There is a Kindle version. You can also get the book for, I think, $1 on his website. You get a PDF, or maybe they'll send it out to you. It's all about this idea of the way to improve anything is to split test. Okay, and it's the exponential improvements that's the really important thing. When you get 10% here, 10% there, 10% there, 10% there, you get more than 40%. And that's why Albert Einstein is famous for saying something like, the most powerful force in the universe, right? This is one of the greatest scientists in history. The most powerful force in the universe is compound improvements, or compound interest. So if you can find a way to bake compound interest or compound improvements into your business as a regular part of the way you operate, such as a weekly split test that you run on one step, and every month you're improving things by, say, 10%. Over a year, that 10% is way bigger. It's exponentially. I don't know how to get this across in any other way than what I've explained. I hope it makes sense. Get out a calculator, a pen, a pad, and write this down and figure it out, because it will blow your mind. And go get that book. Anyway, let's get into this interview with Leon J, and we'll talk about email marketing and give split testing a rest for the time being. It's John McIntyre here, the autoresponder guy. I'm here with Leon J, a friend of mine who lives here in Chiang Mai, Thailand, actually, with me. He's just over in a really cool coffee shop down the road from where I work. But more importantly, he's a marketing pro. So he's been behind launches that have generated 7 figures in 7 days, which is a great headline too, 7 figures in 7 days. And he's also the CEO of Fusion HQ, a complete online business platform that allows you to build your entire online business, from sales funnels and membership sites to building your list, which we're going to talk about now, and promoting affiliate offers. So we're going to get into some of that, because Fusion HQ has some really cool email features with email marketing that can help you kind of maximize your returns. So yeah, how are you going today, Leon?
I'm good. It's a great day here in Chiang Mai, as you know. And we are currently under craziness here, doing some launches, as you've mentioned. Yeah, let's share some information for you guys.
Okay, let's get into it. But just before we do, tell me about, just really quickly, about the launch you're doing, because I think a lot of people listening would be interested. I'm not sure what stage the launch will be in by the time this goes live, but I'm sure the software is pretty badass. So tell me about this software just real quick.
Basically, the issue was, as far as I could see it, that most of our customers, running an online business platform, most of our customers struggle to get sales pages built. They struggle to A, write the copy, and B, do the layout. And as you know, a lot of the copywriting that is done is based around certain formula structures. So what we figured is if we could formalize the copy and essentially allow people, trigger them with a series of questions that gave us the data that we needed, we could actually pretty much write most of the copy for them. So we generated this tool that would prompt the user with a series of questions, get the answers, and then use the copywriting formulas to generate a full long-form sales copy or a squeeze page copy, and actually lay it all out for them, generate the page for them that could then actually be exported to our platform, which is Fusion HQ, right, or to be exported to WordPress, or be exported as HTML, CSS files, or as a PNG file. And so, yeah, that's been going well.
I just love that, the whole idea of writing a sales page without writing a sales page, just filling out a survey. It's very cool.
Yeah, and I mean, the great thing is it's fully customizable. So once the page is generated, you're able to go actually in there and actually kind of modify any of the copy in there manually. So as a copywriter myself, I really love the tool just to give me the framework to get started from, so I can go in and really customize it, maximize it, and fine tune it. For a lot of people, even the base that it generates and spits out is already better than the average person will generally turn out themselves.
Right. So let's change over. I just wanted everyone to hear about that because I think it's such a badass piece of software. Let's go back into the email marketing. Let's start just with the big picture stuff. How do you think about email marketing, and what's important to you when you sit down to kind of create a funnel or some sort of email sequence?
Just that question alone, how important is email marketing? I love this particular stat from the Direct Marketing Association. You know, a lot of people are really into mobile or really into SEO, etc. Based on the statistics that they put out, they found that, let's say, for example, mobile returns on investment is approximately $10.51 for every dollar spent, which is not a bad ROI. However, email, they rank as $40.56 for every dollar spent.
Wow.
That's insane. That's over a $40 ROI. And I mean, I read a couple of different statistics around this, and there was another one that came in at about $42, another one that was about $45. But basically, most of the studies that are done on email marketing are giving $40 upwards ROI for email marketing, which is just phenomenal. You know, I mean, it's easy to get caught up in the modern world of social media hype and mobile hype. And the truth is, email marketing is the staple of internet marketing and online business, and has been since online business was really invented. Right. And it's still going strong. It's still, you know, if you're starting out online and you want to get the maximum bang for your buck, to me, email is still the number one way to go. And it obviously doesn't mean you ignore other methods, right? It just means that it is the one that you should focus on to start to get your business up and running. And the other thing I love about email marketing is that there is so many ways in which you can use email. And so, you asked, how do I go about creating an email campaign? Yeah. The first thing I want to do is look at what is the purpose. Am I launching my own product? Am I promoting an affiliate product? Am I doing a one-off email? Am I doing an autoresponder sequence? So there's a lot of different things that will affect the way that I will approach an email campaign. So the first thing to do is, let's split this into two categories.
Okay.
First of all, your one-off solo email blast. That is, okay, I'm going to send a one-time email, and this will be a one-time email promotion to my list to either promote my product or somebody else's product. And then on the other side, I've got my autoresponder sequences. Now, the one-off email blasts, I mean, they are just incredible for being able to generate a bit of cash flow once you've got a good responsive list. I love these one-off blasts. I can use them, again, in so many different ways. I can use them for market research. I can use them for testing a sales page before doing a launch. And again, this is something that I highly recommend to people is, if you're going to be doing a launch, you want to be able to test the conversions on that sales page before you start approaching affiliates. Yep. For two reasons. One, you don't want to waste affiliate traffic when it comes. And secondly, you want to be able to give some statistics to show them that your page is working. This is one of the first things that I'll look at using my list for, is actually testing sales pages, getting those metrics in so that then I can go and use them to get other affiliates on board for a particular promotion.
One thing I think would be interesting right here is you mentioned that when you have a responsive list, these strategies work really well. Just yes. Can you wrap just for a minute onto it, and how do you actually build a responsive list? Because there are an infinite amount of ways to build the list and email them.
Absolutely. And again, I speak to a lot of internet marketers, about this all the time. And generally, there's two approaches, which is either build a relationship or the crash and burn method. And a lot of the internet marketers, they use this crash and burn method where basically they just spam the living daylights out of any lead that they come in close contact with them. It's a method that works, but it's not one that I'm a big fan of. I'm much more interested in building a long-term relationship with my list. I'm more interested in basically kind of nurturing that list.
Yep.
And the way to do that is basically by only offering them genuinely good value offers, only promoting good quality products, and of course by delivering only high value content. And I know that all makes, that's all kind of internet marketing 101. One of the ways I do this right from the beginning is to use the autoresponder.
Yep.
And the first thing that I generally do is when, a lot of people have squeeze pages, they give away free gifts, right? That's, again, marketing 101. What I don't see most people doing is to give away a 7-part autoresponder course. Again, it's something you hear a lot about, and some people do it. But one of the most effective techniques that I've seen is to do a 7-part autoresponder sequence where it's just basically teaching people whatever niche you're in, delivering high-value content for a sequence of 7 emails. And the way that I really use this to maximize this relationship building and conditioning process is to not deliver the content inside of the email. I use teaser copy to then send people to my web page.
Yep.
And the reason I'm doing this is so that I am basically conditioning my list to look for my content, to associate my emails with high value information, and conditioning them to click on the links within inside of my emails.
Yep.
And this is extremely important. If you want to get the maximum return from your list, you want them to actually anticipate looking for your emails and anticipate wanting to open those emails and engage in those emails. So that, to me, is a really important process that the majority of marketers just simply don't do. They give away some free report, they get the customer to opt in, they get the email, then they don't do anything with that email for a while, or they'll just start spamming that email with offers until that person basically, begs for mercy and unsubscribes, or worse, just kind of simply assigns you to the spam folder.
I love that idea of conditioning people to not just open the emails, but they're opening them, they're clicking, they're looking for the emails to go to the websites. Then when you finally get around to sending them an offer and telling them to buy something, they're so used to taking that behavior.
That's it. That's exactly right. And I think whatever we're doing on the online, particularly with copywriting and sales pages, etc., we have to remember it's all founded in psychology. So the more we can understand how people are interacting, what people are looking for, and how to build that connection, how to build a relationship, how to build trust with that individual, then we're going to be far more effective in all of the different aspects of our marketing business. This is, again, one of the evolving strategies. Back in the early days of email marketing and internet marketing, pretty much what you did was you got somebody to opt into a squeeze page and you sent them out a linear sequence of email. And basically that person just kept receiving the email, and as I say, either they would open the email or they wouldn't, but either way they would just keep getting the emails until they unsubscribed. The great news is that approach works. However, there's a more effective approach, and we're kind of learning, the tools are developing online now to become more sophisticated, and we're learning how to maximize the return on our efforts.
Okay.
There was another statistic, and I can't find it right now, but there was another statistic that explained the return on investment for targeted emails compared to untargeted.
Okay.
Now, again, this may sound completely obvious, right? You send emails to targeted people, you're going to get a much bigger return. However, when people get an opt-in, quite often what they'll do is they'll just send them every single offer that is vaguely related to that opt-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all seen that happen far too many times, right? They'll just okay, it's personal development, it's email marketing. Okay, this time we're going to do membership websites. There's going to be an offer on mobile advertising. I don't know. So they just basically start sending out as many offers as they possibly can to the same list.
Yeah.
And they're not really looking to see how those members are reacting, how they're responding within that list. with the more advanced features in autoresponders, and one of the things that we did inside of Fusion HQ for our latest email response funnel, what we call our email funnel, is to actually start allowing people to create linear campaigns that diverge. That is, they split off based on different responses. So you have somebody enter the email funnel, and let's say they open an email. Well, now we have that information. We know that they were interested in your subject line. They've demonstrated that whatever you wrote in that subject line is of interest to them because they've taken that action. Next, if they click on the link inside of an email, we have more data. We know that they are actively engaging with inside of that email. If somebody's kind of clicked on that link and not bought a product, if we've sent them to a sales page, now we're able to send a different email and follow up with them and say, hey, you went to the sales page, but you didn't buy.
Give them some objection handling emails, some FAQ emails.
Precisely. And if somebody didn't open the email, then you can assume that they didn't even get to see the offer. So perhaps you have to look at, well, what was the previous subject line? Perhaps I need to take a new approach in my subject line to actually just get them to open the email. And so this way you can now start sending them in a different direction, and you need to start twisting your marketing to approach it from a different angle. Once you get to a certain point inside of that email funnel sequence, you can then also send them in a different direction completely and send them to a whole new sequence. So you don't need to get them to opt in. You're just simply sending them to a different sequence of emails that is now more targeted based on the way that they interacted with you in the initial email sequence.
This is so much more dynamic. It's like an actual, the traditional autoresponder just goes out and it's very static. You send out the same emails to the same people all the time. Whereas what we're talking about is having a dynamic relationship. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure. They get to experience stuff based on how they respond to you. So it's almost like a dialogue. You're telling them stuff, and they're telling, based on what actions they take, they're telling you what they're interested in. And therefore you're able to actually make your advertising much more helpful to them, because you can avoid giving them anything that they're actually not interested in, which is great for them and it's great for you.
That's precisely right. And you can use this in so many different ways. So going back to your original question there about how do we engage and build a dynamic relationship with the subscriber. I mean, we just talked about that in terms of a campaign and following up with somebody, trying to give them a promotion. But taking a step backward, what about providing training? Now, inside of Fusion HQ, this is something that we've only just released. So we're actually in the process of rewriting our entire autoresponder as we speak. And the reason for that is that because we offer a range of different tools for internet marketers, somebody may be coming in looking to build a list. Somebody may be coming in wanting to build a sales funnel. Somebody might be wanting to build a membership website.
Yep.
Now, assumably, they'll want to do all of those different things at different times. But when they first become a user of our platform, we don't know what they are trying to do when they first sign up. Yeah. But by using the email responder, we're able to go in and actually ask them questions and getting them to click links inside of the emails. And then we can send them dynamic training that is targeted at their level, at their request of what they are trying to achieve. So we can find out so much more about them and actually provide them the kind of training and the level of training that they require.
Okay.
And this, of course, is going to help us massively in terms of building relationship and, of course, increasing retention rates for our actual product.
Right. One really cool thing I thought about then that this is going to do for people when they have this kind of ability with their software is that some people target very tight traffic sources that are very niche down, and it's good, but they can dry up because they're not very big. The further you niche down, the further long tail you get, the smaller the market gets. But what this software and what this kind of way of doing marketing does is it means you can go and target very broad traffic sources, because then you can use the software and the actions people take to figure out who the hell they are and what they're interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more data we can get about people, the more we're able to target in, the more we're able to provide offers that actually match what they're looking for, the more we're able to build a better, stronger relationship with them, because we're able to create an automated sequence of email that it's responding to them. It's responding to the way that they're interacting and what they're looking for. And I think that is going to, really change the way that we do business online in so many different ways. The level of detail, the level of accuracy in which we're able to deliver people what they want only means that we can strengthen that relationship. And of course, in copywriting, it's all about that dialogue, right? Yeah. I mean, when we go to write a sales page, we're trying to engage in the dialogue that they have in their mind when they read that copy. And that's very, very difficult to do, especially in an interactive way. So if we're able to engage with people over a series of emails, then we can actually create evergreen product sales funnels that are based around an autoresponder that is engaging with them. When you do one-on-one selling, generally you have to present an offer to somebody 5 or 6 times before they buy.
Right.
And of course, that's one of the biggest powers of an autoresponder, is the fact that we're actually able to follow up with them 5 or 6 times and increase the number of people who buy. And I think this is where amateur internet marketers make the mistake, is that they go in and they send 1 or 2 emails and they suddenly go, well, you know what, the person didn't buy, they obviously didn't want it. Or they'll just blast the offer where there's no value associated to the emails that they're sending out.
Right.
So if we can create this kind of like hybrid approach where essentially we're educating people in a dynamic way and in an interactive way, where that education is leading them to the point where the offers are more embedded inside of the education, then there's the saying that people want to buy, but they don't want to be sold to. And so this is exactly the way that we can get around this, is if we create these autoresponders that are education based, that are relationship building based, and that are interactive and allow people to participate with the actual dialogue that's happening in the autoresponder, then I think we're going to start to see a huge shift. And we already are from the test that we've seen. It's taking email. So instead of getting $40 to every dollar we spend on this, we can be expecting to sort of like double that in the future.
Absolutely. Okay, so this is one thing I thought of as well, is that if people who aren't doing this, gradually there's going to be more and more uptake of software services like this. And what's going to happen is the people who don't do this, they're going to be left with an autoresponder that doesn't adapt to their marketplace or to their list. The people who do take advantage of this and start doing this as soon as they can, as in right now since they're hearing about it, people doing this in the internet marketing market already, and they've been doing it for a little while anyway, just because it's, that's one of the most competitive markets for this stuff. If people are listening and they're in less competitive markets outside of internet marketing, you're going to find that most people have no idea about this stuff. Most people aren't even doing autoresponders. So if you can be the guy or the girl who's got not just an autoresponder, but an autoresponder that adapts to their market, it's going to give them an absolutely insane advantage.
Oh, I mean, I still get people contacting me from one of my personal development websites saying, thank you so much, Leon, for taking the time to send me this email. And I'm like, you forget sometimes when you're in this industry so long, you just believe that, or you assume that everybody realizes that they know that they're on an autoresponder list, right?
Yeah.
But it's not the case, Yes, in the internet marketing niche, most people are a little bit more clued up to realize that they're just getting an automated email sequence.
Right.
But outside of the internet marketing niche, that's not the case at all. There's still so many people that believe that you are taking the time to manually write them a personal email.
Yeah. I mean, I still get it with my list sometimes. It's obviously an autoresponder, but some people do respond, and especially when you start formatting your emails in certain ways, people respond to you as though it really is a dialogue. If you ask people to reply and answer questions, they reply and they answer questions.
Yeah. Let's just go back to email marketing for internet marketers for 1 second. It doesn't even have to apply to internet marketers specifically, but again, with sales copy, as somebody who knows the psychology behind sales copy and, let's say, for example, scarcity offers, we know that they work. And the amount of times that I myself have caught myself reading a sales copy and going, damn it, I know that's marketing. I know that this is internet marketing tactics. I know this is internet marketing psychology and strategy that's being applied to me, but God damn it, I have to respond because I can feel my arm being twisted, and it's just like, it still works. Even when you know the techniques, they still work on you.
Right. I mean, it's because people want stuff. And if you can give them what they want, they don't care if you're selling them something. Right. They want it. If you have what they want, that's cool.
Exactly. We've started applying this concept of scarcity inside of emails now. I know we use this on sales pages, right? Where often we will set up a special offer. We may have countdown timers, and we do all of this kind of stuff within a scarcity environment within the actual sales page. But what about evergreen products? What about following up with people, or even not following up with them, but just doing a one-time solo blast? How can we use this psychology of scarcity inside of our email? We developed a tool that we call the magic link, and it's because we can use it in so many different ways. But essentially what the magic link is, and if you get creative, you'll soon realize there's a bunch of different ways that you can achieve the same result. But what it does is to create a dynamic link that expires. And it doesn't expire in the sense that it stops working. What it does is for the first period of time, let's say, and what I generally do is about 36 hours, because let's be honest, most people, if they're not responded in 36 hours, they're not likely to. We tend to stick out an email that says, click on this link within the next 36 hours and you will get a special price, or you will get a special bonus. And so what happens is they click on that link, they're taken to page A, which has the special offer. Right. After 36 hours, they then go to page B, which doesn't have the special offer. And so what we do is we just simply say inside of the email, well, this email is about to expire, and you have 36 hours from the time that this email was sent out to you to click on the link. My God, you cannot believe how much that increases click-through rates. It is just phenomenal how quickly people respond. And I'm in the internet marketing niche when I'm doing this. All of the tests we've done so far has been based just in the IM niche. And as I say, people in the IM niche know the tricks are being used, but they still respond. So can you imagine when you get outside of the IM niche, how responsive that kind of approach will be?
Yeah. I was talking to a buddy of mine about this recently. It's just insane, the idea that you could do this and you could hardwire it into the autoresponder, so you could have a product that opens every 30 days for every individual subscriber, but does it on its own timeline. So it's kind of like a perpetual launch thing that's opening and closing, and it's doing it all automatically. All you do is just add leads to the funnel.
Right, and that's precisely right. I mean, one of the things we did to fine-tune this as well was to have the latest upgrade on that was to make it so it was based on the number of clicks. So you can send out an email and say, well, look, the first 20 people who click inside of this email is going to get this offer.
That's even better.
Right? And you can actually, with a tool now, you can tier this where you can have multiple levels, shall we say. So you can basically make it so the first 20 people go to one page, the next 20 people go to the next page, the next 20 people go to the next page. And it's all legit. It's a legitimate scarcity where basically you set up, let's say, 3 different pages, each one with a slightly different price point on it. And when the email goes out, it's first come, first serve. One way you can pre-warm this up is to send out a pre-warning email that says, hey, look, in 24 hours, I'm going to send out an email. Yep. You want to look out for this email because it has a special link in it, and the first 20 people who click on that link are going to get this page.
Right.
That kind of scarcity inside of the emails, you don't want to overdo it. And again, I mean, I'll say this right up. People soon will disrespect you for really kind of basically squeezing them by the balls too tightly too often. But to do it occasionally and to do it with some genuine value built in there where people are really kind of like excited to get that email and to really get excited about responding quickly, it just basically means that you increase your response. And that's everything we're trying to do inside of email marketing, is to increase response.
Absolutely. Okay, man. So we're right on time. I feel like we could go on this topic forever. So we've talked all about email marketing. Give us a quick rundown of where people can learn more about it, and if there's any special offers or anything like that right now.
Come on, would we be marketers if we couldn't come up with a special offer? Our business is built on special offers. Let's do this. Let's create a special link, and fusionhq.com/dropdead.
Okay.
And we will come up with a special offer that you will have to respond to very quickly, and I don't know quite why yet, but we will make sure that there is some definite value in you going there as quickly as possible when you hear this audio.
So there'll be a discount for Fusion HQ or some sort of bonus attached or something like that.
Absolutely. And because we haven't really thought about this properly in advance, I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be, but there will definitely be some form of discount and some value associated, some surprise. Exactly that.
So to get you surprised, go to.
And you don't know how urgently you have to run there before that disappears, because we don't know any of this yet, but we just know this is evil, right? We know that it exists. We know that it's going to exist by the time that you're listening to this recording. The details are yet to be seen. So you have to run there as quickly as possible. Go to fusionhq.com/dropdead and you'll see exactly what kind of evil genius we've conjured up for you.
I love that, man. All right, let's wrap it up right here. Thank you so much for coming on, Leon. I really appreciate it.
Awesome, John. Been a lot of fun.
everybody. Thanks for listening. If you want to discover more insider tips, tricks, and secrets about driving sales with email marketing, sign up for daily email tips from the Autoresponder Guy. Go to dropdeadcopy.com/podcast. Sign up, confirm your email address, and I'll send you daily emails on how to improve your email marketing and make more sales via email. You'll find out why open rates don't matter and the 7-letter word that underlies all effective marketing and much more.
The editing and production of this podcast were provided by Authority Engine. Learn more at authorityengine.com.